Hey guys, tonight we begin with life in 450 BC, a place both familiar and alien ancient Greece. You're wrapped in a rough linen robe. A bread roll sits beside you, hard as river stone. The room hot as a brick oven. You have no bathroom, no rights, no spoons, just sweat, dust, and a very simple question. How do you survive until dinner without dying from the sun or an extremely selective political system? So before we begin, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? And what time is it there? Now dim the lights. Maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum. And let's step into tonight's journey together. You've just woken up in ancient Athens. You're not dead, but give it a minute. You open your eyes. Nobody wants to die. You open your eyes again. You're not dreaming, nor sleepwalking. You are slowly cooking. You just woke up in an ancient Greek house where the room temperature is 95 degrees Celsius, but the humidity level is someone else's sweat sticking to your back. There's no AC, no windows, no curtains, and definitely no scented candles, just the smell of people, goats, and the deep regret of wishing you lived in ancient times. You're lying on a thin pile of straw so flimsy that if you roll over too hard, you might break through time and hit the floor directly. The mattress under you is a natural combo of straw, dry grass dust, and possibly a few bugs discussing migration plans. Ever sweat through your shirt when the power's out for an hour? Tell me in the comments, what's the hottest temperature you've ever survived, and what did you do to stay alive? We could all learn from AC-free warriors like you. Your blanket, no. That's a torn cloak you share with at least one cousin, one elder, and one goat named Nikos. It's not warm. It has a smell. And it's currently stuck to your armpit like a Dionysian curse after too much wine. If you're still here, thanks for traveling with me through Athens, through straw and dust, and through deeply unfair loaves of bread. Leave me a sign, a comment, an emoji, or even just the words "I survived." You've made it through ancient Greece. You tried to sit up, but you're not alone. This room is smaller than a college dorm, and packed like Greeks didn't believe in the concept of privacy. To your left, your grandpa is snoring like thunder. To your right, a child is gnawing on your hand, like your breakfast. At your feet, a chicken. Nobody knows where it came from. Nobody asks. It lives here now. Nobody wakes you. The sun does. Sunlight beams straight into your face like Zeus's camera flash. Yesterday's sun-baked clay walls, after 12 hours of heat absorption, are now radiating back at you like you're lying inside a mythological microwave. You roll over. Mistake. The straw mat crackles like a punch. The goat screams. The child cries. Your mom glares. Grandpa, still asleep. You're thirsty. You look around. No cup, no Brita. Just a clay jar brooding in the corner, the one where you're pretty sure you saw something crawl out of last night. You hesitate, then go with the oldest solution in history. Convince yourself you're not that thirsty. At this point, you haven't brushed your teeth, haven't bathed, don't know what's for breakfast. You only know one thing: you're alive in ancient Greece, and you're starting to understand why. Nobody writes poetry about mornings here. Full story continued in this segment. Already existing content kept intact above. Fan Jiao Gyu Nguyen. Section 3. Morning routine. You decide to freshen up. A modern concept. A noble pursuit. A tragic mistake in this context. You fumble around for something to scrub your tongue. No toothbrush. No toothpaste. No floss. No cool mint anything. You find a little stick, they call it xylostoma. You rub it across your teeth like you're trying to scrape moss off a brick wall. The smell as friendly as wet earth. If that earth had been peed on by a goat, mouthwash vinegar, or watered wine. You go with swallow your own spit and pretend everything's fine. No sink, no face wash, no embroidered towel that says Tuesdays are for self-care. Instead, you step outside into the courtyard, where the whole village bathes publicly like a live stream, and head for the communal water jar. You scoop up a ladle of water as cold as your ex's last text and... nope. You stop, because next to you are two women scrubbing each other's backs with blades. Welcome to Greek cleansing rituals, olive oil and scrapers. You don't bathe with soap. You rub olive oil on your body, the same stuff modern people use to cook pasta. Rub it in, evenly, like you're marinating yourself for grilling. It feels slick, sticky, and vaguely greasy, like you're about to get massaged by a philosopher. Then you take a strigil, a bronze hook curved like a spoon, and a shaving knife had a baby. You use it to scrape the oil off your skin. Sounds cleansing, but what you're really doing is scraping off a blend of yesterday's sweat, road dust, discount, olive oil, and personal dignity. And don't forget, you're not alone. All of this is happening in public. No stalls, no curtains, no me time. Just your neighbor uncle scraping his armpit and glaring at you like you're stealing Poseidon's water. If you're a woman, you bathe in a separate area, but don't expect luxury. Still, oil, still strigil, still conversations like, did you hear Cleon's rooster screaming till midnight last night? Yeah. Also, did you shave your ankles properly? The festival's today. Do you feel clean? No, you just feel less sticky. Your skin is gleaming like a temple statue, but your brain is stuck on one thought. Why am I listening to this video at 3 a.m.? Imagining myself covered in olive oil in front of 17 people. You put your tunic back on. It sticks. Your body sticks. Your mood. Also, kind of sticky. And no, you still haven't had breakfast yet. Welcome to breakfast, the most important meal of the day, in the sense that if you don't eat enough, you'll faint while hauling water. Not because anyone cares about nutrition. You sit down, or more accurately squat next to a cold stone table used for eating wool, spinning, turnip peeling, and occasionally dealing with dead chickens. No chairs, no chopsticks, no waiter asking what you'd like. You don't choose your meal, you endure it. Main dish Muzza King of disappointment. On the table sits a vaguely shaped dry lump of dough called maza. This is ancient bread made from hand-ground barley flour, mixed with water, flattened and baked on hot stones. Imagine a 6-year expired cracker meets a clay brick, and both agree. Softness is for cowards. You break off a piece. Crack, the sound echoes like a bone snapping. You're not sure if that was the bread or your wrist spraining. You take a bite. Another crack, this time it's a tooth. You chew slowly, chewing and thinking, is this a meal or an ancient dental exam? Every bite is an apology letter to your molars. You find a tiny pebble in the bread. Could be ash. Could be leftover Parthenon materials. You're thirsty. You grab a cup. Disappointment. Not water, not milk, not anything you'd recognize. It's watered down wine, the survival juice that everyone from age 5 to 85 drinks. Why? Because well water is dirty. Spring water, hit or miss. Wine. At least it kills whatever's swimming in the cup. You sip. Smell of wine. Taste of drain. Feels like someone squeezed a raisin into a bucket of tired hope. You think at least the alcohol will wake me up. But no. This isn't wine for fun. It's wine to not die of infection. You're drinking desperation-based water filtration. If today's a lucky day, like Demeter decided not to delay the grain, you might get one tiny fig-3 sour olives as aggressive as your neighbor aunt, and a thread-thin smear of goat cheese. That's it. No eggs, no bacon, no banana avocado smoothie. Coffee better luck next era. And if you're a woman, you don't get to eat together. You sit in a corner, wait for the men to finish, then get whatever's left, usually a dropped crust and some olives that rolled onto the floor. You don't protest. You're not allowed to protest. You chew in silence like you're participating in a ritual you didn't sign up for. In short, you've completed breakfast. You've survived. Your teeth are about 92% intact, and you fueled up just enough to be defeated by the Athens sun in 30 minutes. You've bathed, sort of. You've eaten and chipped 2 teeth. And now it's time to get dressed, also known as playing the ancient Greek minigame. Can you wrap fabric without accidentally revealing your entire identity? You have 2 options. Option 1, chiton fabric with heart, but no structure. A rectangular piece of cloth, long. You drape it over your body pin, both shoulders, with giant brooches, yes, like industrial safety pins, and tie a rope around your waist. No sleeves, no collar, no underwear. Basically, you've stepped outside looking like a spring roll in crisis. You tuck one side, the other one falls out. You tie it high, your heels show. You tie it low, sorry Zeus. So does the rest of you. Option 2, himation, the advanced level toga blanket. If you want to look respectable, that is, cover your shoulders, you throw another piece of fabric on called a himation. Imagine a couch throw the size of a bedsheet, heavy as your ex's emotional baggage, and you have to drape it over one shoulder, without letting it fall off while bending to pick up an olive. You step outside looking like a disoriented deity in a fabric identity crisis. Windy today? Well, congrats. You become a mobile sculpture exhibit. And yes, Greece is windy. No one tells you. The Mediterranean breeze treats your chiton like it's playing peekaboo with your dignity. You go to the market to buy fish one bend over, and boom, expose front, back, and self-worth. Old philosophers across the square sip wine vapor and comment, the fragility of fabric reflects the impermanence of mortal life. No, it reflects that you don't have underwear. As for shoes, it's a gamble. If you're lucky, you have a basic pair of leather sandals with ankle straps. Like I'm someone with shoes. Respect me. If unlucky and you're not nobility, you go barefoot on what hot gravel, sharp stones, goat poop, and whatever Athens decided not to clean today. As for colors, forget it. Most chitons are off-white or earthy brown, basically default fabric color, deal with it. Dye is expensive. Only nobles, priests, or super-rich merchants wear purple, blue, or red. You look like a shredded curtain wrapped in anxiety. But hey, you're an ancient commoner. You're nailing the role. And if you're a woman, double the luck to you. Women wear longer chitons, more layers, and are expected to be more modest. But fabric is still fabric. Wind is still wind. And covering up only works if you don't move, don't bend over, and don't breathe too hard. You're dressed. You don't look bad if compared to a cracked torso statue in a museum. You're ready to step outside to work, to shop, or to be roasted alive by the Athenian sun, like market square mackerel. But before you leave the house, take a breath, grip your garment, and pray to Hera that today, the wind isn't feeling dramatic. You've just opened the door, or rather, pulled aside the creaky plank, pretending to be a door. Sun slaps you in the face mercilessly, like a PMSing Helios backhanding your entire bloodline. You shut your eyes, then open them. Mistake. The light is so blinding it feels like you just looked directly into the truth of existence. Outside temperature, slow roast by destiny. The streets of Athens have no trees, no awnings, no shade check. Just blazing stone pavements like a barbecue grill, waiting for meat. You step out. Your feet, sandal-wearing or barefoot, begin to sizzle from the soles upward to your brain. You smell something burning. Could be bread. Could be you. No. This is dust on a mythological level. Every step you take triggers a mini dust storm. The air is dry, thick, dense, like you're inhaling sacred soil that forgot to be filtered. Your eyes sting. You cough. You look up, and a herd of goats runs past. No one stops them. They're part of the city. They have more rights than you do. And then the smell hits. Dried fish, human sweat, old wine oozing out of someone's overturned jar. The smell of a city that hasn't invented sewage. You breathe through your mouth. Mistake. You just ate a serving of dust. plus wind, plus 5th century Athens essence. Everyone around you moves like this is normal. An old man's yelling about olive prices. A mother carries a baby wrapped in 3 layers of fabric, glaring at you like you pinned your chiton wrong. Kids are running wild, arguing in poetry. A philosopher sits by a wall nodding because he just invented evaporating soul theory. You're sweating from glands you didn't know existed. You make it to the market where all your senses get ambushed at once. Every stall is a mini explosion. Fish slapping onto cutting boards. Someone screaming, "Today's wine is only slightly sour." A man selling sandal straps that look suspiciously like goat leash leftovers. You dodge, slip, nearly crash into a priest choosing goat liver for a sacrifice. And then you see it. The final thing your brain can process today. A man wearing nothing but a chiton standing mid-street arguing. If I don't exist, then who's talking to you while scratching his back with a wooden spoon? You sigh, not because you understand, but because you don't know what else to do. You stepped outside only to realize the sun hates you. The stones beneath you are betraying you. The wind wants you to flash the public. And the goats have right of way. You're tired. You're sweating. You want to lie down and take a breath. But that's not a legal option in ancient Greece, because this land has no concept of wellness healing or 15-minute peach tea breaks. Here there is only shut up, lift it, keep going. Sorry, you're not an artist, not a philosopher, and definitely not a living myth. You are a farmer bent over fields under blazing sun, planting by hand, hauling water from a well deeper than your post-breakup sadness. You work in dirt, in dust, a potter lifting clay, kneading clay, getting yelled at for sculpting a vase that looks a little too much like Zeus's bathroom bowl. A nameless laborer hauling stone to build temples, smashing dirt, chopping wood, breaking your back. Your tools include a shovel the size of your toxic relationship, a straw basket to carry bricks, dirt, or existential dread, and your hands blistered peeling, covered in wet clay and dead dreams. Your workmates, your father, your brother, and a neighbor who farts while retelling war stories about Sparta. No one says take a break, because if you do, you get double the work as punishment. You're working 10-hour shifts, no holidays, and payment means a loaf of bread with fewer rocks than yesterday and a cold head nod from your father. You bend down, grab a hoe, swing. Your hands ache, your shoulders tighten, your neck slowly morphing into the letter Z. You're not even 25, but your spine feels like it belongs to a 63-year-old man who once insulted Poseidon and never recovered. If you're a woman, laundry by hand on stone in glacier-level water, weaving from sheep's wool, from patience, from unspoken dreams of a better life. Raising kids, no diapers, no sleep tracking apps, no helping husband. Cooking, no gas stove, no sharp knives, no meat. You can't complain. Complaining is considered disrespect to the gods. Tired. That's laziness, not the system. You're not allowed to be tired. You're only allowed to keep going until you collapse, then someone drags you away. Work in ancient Greece isn't for personal growth. It's for survival, or at best, surviving until lunch. Your back hurts. Your shoulders ache. You just smashed your toe with a hammer, and no one cares. You step out dazed from brushing your teeth with vinegar wine and almost losing a toenail to a rogue stone in your straw sandals. Now it's time to use your intellect, except not your own. Welcome to Athens' cradle of philosophy, where Socrates was sentenced to death for asking too many questions, and you're a regular citizen, not a philosopher, not a noble. What's expected of you? Be quiet, work, don't ask why. Wonder about human rights, wrong era. Want to vote. Sorry, are you a woman, a slave, or a metic immigrant doors that way? Feel like something's unfair? Don't let anyone hear that. If they do, good luck dodging the pottery shard expulsion game. Sure, Athenian democracy is hailed as the root of modern politics, but it's like a party where only guys in white togas get an invite and you're wearing whatever used to be a curtain. Ostracism, a democratic game where citizens write down who they hate on a piece of pottery, and if enough people agree, that person is exiled for 10 years. No trial, no defense, no please hear me out. Just bye. You start to feel dizzy, not from heat, but from realizing the birthplace of the idea that humans are rational is also the place where you have no right to use reason. So what do you have faith, hope, sure? They belong to the gods, but even faith isn't free. You must offer, you must sacrifice, you must remember the feast days of at least 12 different deities, and if you forget, well, Zeus might bless your crops with a lightning bolt, or deliver a mild plague as a friendly reminder from Olympus. And that, dear listener, is how you've survived a morning in ancient Athens, with a breakfast of dental disaster bread, a beauty routine of olive oil and bronze scrapers, a loose outfit in punishing sunlight, and a democracy you're not invited to join. But don't worry, the afternoon has even more surprises like war slavery, and a dinner that may or may not just be leftovers from breakfast. Not to get rich, not to find meaning through your career, just not to starve. You picture ancient Greek labor like a marble bust, beautiful, balanced, and pantsless. No, just no. You're not an artist, not a philosopher. No scholarship to Plato's Academy. You're ancient working class. And that means you haul water every morning. You grind flour by hand until your shoulder gives out. You clean goat poop with a stick your grandfather calls a family tradition. You're a man. Congrats, it's still rough. You might be a farmer harvesting wheat, with a wooden sickle dodging sunbeams like a ninja in burlap. A potter shaping hundreds of amphorae for clients who've never even touched one. A sailor rowing a trireme triple-deck warship under shouting orders and constant sea slaps to the face. A builder hauling stones for temples, no helmet, no lunch break, just the cheerful phrase, fall, and it's your fault. You're a woman. Congrats, your job is everything they don't call a job. Weaving by hand with patience, and the sorrowful glance of someone who just realized she has to make the 13th one. Cooking, no stove, no gas, just wood fire and salt. If the gods are smiling today. Childcare, no diapers, no toys, and a toddler who thinks poking a goat with a stick is peak entertainment. Cleaning, no vacuum, just a broom made from tree roots and fragile hope. Basically, you're an unpaid multitasker with no title, no paycheck, no days off. And if you're a slave, no debate. You do all of the above. Plus, you get beaten. You don't get to say no. There's no contract. And if you talk back, you might get sold, get hot oil thrown on you, or be tossed to a goat for headbutting practice. And no one's going to ask, do you find this work meaningful? No one cares. Ancient Greece didn't have TED Talks. No one invites you to tell your overcoming story. No one pats your back and says, follow your passion. You only hear your boss yell, hurry up. I need this urn before sunset. It's for my cousin's ashes. You're tired, in pain, hungry. That's normal. You open your eyes. No alarm clock. Just the sound of a crying child boiling water and your husband shouting, where's the bread? You sigh silently. A good woman knows how to stay quiet. At least that's what Athens taught you since childhood. You're the full-time CEO of an organization called family. No salary, no praise, no memory of the fact that you wove 20 meters of cloth this morning, hauled 2 jars bigger than your youngest child, baked 4 loaves of bread, only 3 burned, taught your kid the alphabet Greek, no app involved, and still mopped, cooked, washed clothes, waxed, preserved family honor, and showed 0 negative emotion. You don't work outside. Society doesn't want you outside, and especially not with opinions. You can't walk the streets alone. If you appear in public without a man, People don't ask, "Where are you going?" They assume you're a prostitute. Or worse, a woman with independent thoughts. You can't enter the theatre. You can't attend philosophical debates. You can't run for office. You can't vote. You can't stand in public too long unless it's at the market. And even then, you must move quickly, head down like you're fleeing a murder, where the victim is your family's reputation. Romance love is a luxury. Marriage is duty. You married at 14. He was 30. You didn't choose him. Your father did, because he had land, livestock, and seemed like someone who wouldn't beat his wife too often. You moved into his family's home. You cared for your mother-in-law. You gave birth hoping for sons. If it's a daughter, maybe next time. Education. Nice idea. If you're from a rich household, maybe you learn to read a little. But don't write poetry or journal entries. Writing too much means you have a plot. Smart women are called manipulative. Outspoken women are omens. Women who read love poems. Please step out into the wind. Who are you in Athenian history? No one knows. Your name isn't in the record. You don't have a statue. You don't get poetry. Instead, they sculpt Athena, goddess of war. But real women can't hold swords. They honor Artemis, goddess of independence. But if you're single too long, something's wrong. You're the shadow behind the whitewashed walls. A name whispered at dinner if someone asks, "Where's your wife?" You are an ancient Greek woman. You do much. You say little. You exist like you're invisible. And everything you build is credited to your husband, your father, or the gods. And if you're listening to this at 3 a.m., eyes swollen with exhaustion, remember, you are stronger than you think. Because you just listened through a chapter about a time when being a woman was harder than weaving wool in a 104-degree brick oven. You've just finished a full day of backbreaking Athens sun. Rock-hard bread, endless sweat, mood somewhere between overbaked and crispy anxiety. Now all you want is to sit down, breathe and think. At least the gods are watching over me. Well, they're watching. Whether they're protecting you or not depends on today's vibes. The ancient Greek operating system Divinity 12.0. Here, everything you do, eating, sleeping, sweating, sneezing in the wrong direction, falls under the jurisdiction of at least one god. Zeus, god of thunder, CEO of Olympus, known for cheating while disguised as animals. Hera, his wife, goddess of marriage specialist, in turning the other woman into natural disasters. Apollo, god of light music and moody predictions. Artemis, goddess of the hunt, loves nature, hates men. Aphrodite, goddess of love. So if your crush glanced at you today, it's probably because you accidentally lit the wrong incense. You think you believe in gods? No. Here you depend on them, not because of faith, because if you don't believe correctly, you'll receive a warning sign. Examples: stomachache. Maybe Demeter's mad you ate unblessed grain. Fell off a ladder. You probably didn't greet the sunrise properly. Struck by lightning. Maybe Zeus is in a mood and you stood in the wrong spot. Need something. There's a god for that, but a heads up, it costs. Need love offered to Aphrodite. Need to win a court case. Slip Athena a bribe. Need sleep, pray to Hypnos. Had a nightmare, that's on you. You didn't burn incense under the crescent moon. Want children? Ask Artemis. Ask wrong. You might give birth to a goat. Religious rituals. Daily survival checklist. Think rituals are once a week. No, they're daily. You burn incense, scatter grains, sacrifice goats, pigs, cows, fish, cats, or yourself if you're feeling unlucky. And no sacrifices aren't just for the rich. The poor have to offer too. No goat. At least give bread, but not moldy. The gods are picky eaters, and the gods show up in your dreams, uninvited. Your sleeping Hypno stands at your bed. Moros whispers visions of doom in your ear. Thanatos, god of death, drops by to check if you're still breathing. Sometimes you dream of flying. That's Hermes warning you to flee before someone sues you for breaking their urn this morning. The gods don't need you to understand. They just want submission. Don't ask questions like, why does Zeus have over 300 kids? Why can men sacrifice but women can't? If Athena's the goddess of wisdom, why are all the philosophers men? Ask those and you won't be enlightened. You'll be punished. They call it a lesson. And the lesson might be a ruined harvest, a sudden plague, or a pimple where you can't scratch. Religion in ancient Greece isn't belief. It's society's engine life's explanation and emotional control wrapped in white robes. You don't question. You worship. You live in a state of mild daily panic, like when you think, if I don't pray to Apollo today, I might sprain my ankle into the soup pot tomorrow. You drag your sore body back home. Sunburn on your arms. 2 empty jars on your shoulders. You think all I need is a soft bed and deep sleep. Wrong. The concept of bed is history's biggest scam. No mattress, no pillow, no blanket. Just a straw mat you share with your entire family. And sometimes a goat. You lie down. The mat creaks like it's rejecting your existence. Your back aches. Your shoulders are oily. Your butt lands on something weird, possibly a small hammer, or yesterday's forgotten bread. The whole family sleeps in one room. No personal space. Kids sleep sideways. Grandparents sleep lengthwise. Your mom snores. Your dad talks about the Sparta war in his sleep. And the goat dead center. Zero intention of moving. You roll over. Breeze slips through the cracked wall. You pull a torn shirt over your legs. Then you catch a sour smell. Not you. It's the shirt. Don't expect quiet. Neighbors are still singing. Someone's arguing on the street. A bowl crashes in the house next door. Some guy just yelled, "Who took my Strigel?" You close your eyes. Hope sleep will come. Instead, you get mosquitoes. Sweat. The panting breath of someone melting beside you, and a sound from the corner. Could be a rat. Could be a curse. Ancient Greek sleep. Lie down, endure, and dream. Weird. No nightlight. No candles. Just moonlight seeping through the wall and a dying oil lamp like your belief in life right now. You don't sleep straight. You curl up like a shrimp awaiting doom. You dream. In it you're running. Being chased. Maybe by Zeus. Maybe an angry goat. Maybe a baker with an unpaid tab. Sleep in ancient Greece isn't rest after a long day. It's a fragile negotiation between your body and the straw, hoping the rat doesn't climb on your face. No air purifier. You have smoke snoring and a dream about the invention of plumbing. You lie still, eyes closed. No strength left to think. Your body aching, your mind exhausted, and your soul slightly frayed around the edges. A day in ancient Athens doesn't make you stronger. It makes you count every vertebra and wonder how humanity didn't go extinct sooner. But then something rises, a memory. Today you survived. A breakfast made of bricks. A chiton that held on barely in front of a temple. A full jar of water. Carried without snapping your spine. A ritual you didn't forget. A public gaze you didn't let exile you. And most importantly, you're still here, breathing, in the 21st century, in a room with a fan and Wi-Fi. You're not in ancient Greece anymore. You're somewhere softer, somewhere with toothpaste, toilet paper, air conditioning, and the right to be you without asking Olympus for permission. Life today, still hard, still full of deadlines, doubts, distractions, but at least you don't need Athena's approval to speak at dinner. You don't scrape oil off your skin in a square. You don't chew bread like a punishment. And you're not sleeping next to a goat. Ancient Greece gave us philosophy, but the people who lived it gave us something deeper: empathy. Not everyone was Socrates. Most were quiet souls like you, trying to love, survive, and hope the bread tomorrow is softer than yesterday. And you, the one listening at 2:41 a.m., you might be one of them. So now, close your eyes. Let go of ancient Greece. Let go of whatever's spinning in your chest. Let go and drift. Good night. May you dream of good wine, secure chitons, and a Zeus too distracted to smite anyone. So, you survived a full day in ancient Greece. No air conditioning, no citizenship, and absolutely no decent breakfast. If you're still awake, thank you for staying with me till the end. I hope this journey made you smile, or at least feel a little lighter. You don't need to be a philosopher, a warrior, a god. Just the kind of person who made it here is already rare. If you felt seen, soothed, or strangely comforted, leave a comment. Even just an emoji. I read them all. And if you fell asleep halfway, that's okay too. That's the whole point. Sleep well. You've survived one more day, whether in Athens or here. Lights off now. Let the flame burn low. See you in the next dream, in another civilization.